Well, last night, 11 million people saw Jill crowned Queen of the Jungle as she reached the final three alongside Matt and Owen.
And the new Queen of the Jungle is Jill!
Get your scepter as well. There you go. That's Mike. Well done, Jill.
I was so happy that Jill won.
Yeah.
From the outset, I wanted her to win with the very first trial where she helped the others get over their fear of heights, and now we found out how frightened she is of heights. I just thought she had a lovely sense of humour. She was obviously the first I'd ever heard of her was when the Lionesses won the Euro, and I thought she's just a brilliant character and so inspirational for other women. I just think the right person won.
Yeah, I do.
And you know, as someone who is in the jungle and knows what reserves you have to dig deep to put up with some of the people you've ended up with, and she never lost her sense of humour. But the last few days, I have been living on tenterhooks because of Matt Hancock's proximity to winning. Thank goodness he didn't win.
Well, I was excited that Jill won because, like Janet, I thought that she would be the winner. She was my favourite, aside from Charlene, of course.
Yeah.
Charlene,
From the start, really,
well,
Jill.
yeah, because she's an ultimate team player, and I love the way that she just put herself forward for the challenges. Who wants to go? And everybody was like, no, no. And she's like, I'll do it. And I just love that about her. And as you say, very inspirational, strong lady.
And so kind.
Yeah, so kind. I think her humour was amazing, you know, during that. It's just something you needed always to lift you up. But I think that team spirit really come across, didn't it?
Yeah.
You know, she has to work in a team, obviously, being a football player.
Yeah.
And I think that was the key to her success. Firstly, being a decent human, a really lovely human being. But secondly, I think that kind of empowering people. She was always congratulating them when they were fearful. She was bringing them back up. And you saw that come across, didn't you? I was so glad that she won. I think a female footballer winning that show just showed real kind of presence to how great they had been as Lionesses, how much they had brought people on, the public on board, but also just her. Like you say, she was rock solid. Like, she went into those trials and she was just like, yeah, that's it, in the zone, done.
And I have to say, I absolutely loved Jill. From very early days, I thought she is just such a contender to win, but I think Owen was so gorgeous as well. He was... I don't mean in that way.
Really?
Lady in the front row was like, oh. I mean, he was in that way. That's not, you know, I'm not blind. But such a lovely guy as well. And like you said, always put himself forward. And the thing that I loved about both of them was they just seemed so kind and so accepting of everyone and everything, and just happy to be doing the experience, you know.
I think
it was really
Moen
lovely.
showed that real emotional intellect as well, you know, that connection, a young boy sort of crying, really giving himself, and I think that did him a lot of favours, to be honest, you know, kind of in that environment where he's showing vulnerability, I think sometimes...
But of course, what's slightly annoying is that the person getting all the front pages and headlines is... here he is. You know, and it's kind of, I'm a celeb now, get me out of politics. Well, OK. We could do that for you, Matt.
As I said earlier, I went through an anxious few days when it looked like he was getting really close to the end. But in the end, the British public showed how smart they are and what a good judge of character they are. Now Matt Hancock has got to work out a few important things. Number one, when's he going back to his constituency to face up to all the people he's deserted for the last 2 or 3 weeks? Number two, how much of his huge fee is he giving to the dyslexia charity? Because I think he should tell us all that. And number three, has he actually got the guts to go into Parliament and face his critics in his day job or is he saying cheerio to it forever? I mean, when I saw the pictures of his girlfriend prancing around on the beach in the white Mylene Class bikini, I thought he's obviously aiming to follow Ed Balls and a whole lot of other people into being a television presenter and perhaps do more TV shows. And we know he's doing the SAS show after Christmas. I think a lot will depend on Matt Hancock's book, which is coming out in a couple of weeks' time. And if we, the public, are not interested in it and don't buy it because we don't want to hear it, or we do read it and we find we disagree with his view of the COVID pandemic and how it was handled, then he will be back in the firing line again.
But I do think it's amazing because I thought, when I found out he was going in there, I thought, wow, so he'll be voted for every trial, and as soon as those lines open to get people out, he'll be first out. But he didn't come out. He was there right till the final. So somewhere along the line, people's opinion, as him as a man, obviously changed.
I don't know if people's opinion changed or if it was more a case of, well, because I thought if he's going in, everybody's going to give him a challenge. Nyam that, eat that, go in that hole with that.
Which they did.
So, but do you know what I mean? It's like, and it was after the first one, after the second one, the third, the fourth, and everybody in the camp was happy that they weren't getting chosen. But I saw it as a way of, that's the public actually voting and saying, well, you did this, we don't agree, and we want you to face those challenges. And so I don't see it as...
But people did genuinely like him. They changed their opinion. There's a lady in our audience, in fact, we were speaking to earlier, Liz. Liz, you liked him in the jungle, didn't you?
Well, not so much that I liked him, but
Don't let me down, Liz.
There we go. What was I saying?
Liz, you're
Don't change your tune up. Now the cameras are on,
Go on, Liz.
Oh, no, I felt sorry for him when he went in because I felt he was being really harshly grilled from the other contestants, which is fair enough because everybody's got their own point of view. But he did do all the trials and he was winning on food and they were quite happy for him to do that.
And he didn't argue back with them, did he?
No,
he accepted all the...
Yeah.
Well, a lot of politicians would. That's the thing.
But a lot of politicians... He's still serving. He left his constituency he went to go into the jungle. He's hardly going to go in there if he's trying to show his personality in a great light. He's hardly going to go in and start arguing because that'll be even worse for him going in.
I agree.
And at the end of the day, I just don't agree with if he's working, do your job. Because once again, it's about following those rules. You make the rules and then you break the rules.
Exactly.
If you're working, work.
I think he played it quite smart. You know, I don't agree with him going in because of everything that happened during COVID and our understanding of his positioning.
Yeah.
Whilst we were all stopped from going to see loved ones. And remember, he was in a position where the legislations or the things that he put in place stopped people seeing loved ones who potentially were dying in hospital. You couldn't go. I do think there was a disconnect between him and politics, maybe with the younger voters, because he went in as him. So if you weren't into politics and you didn't know enough of what he maybe had done that really affected some people who really understood, you would see him as his character. So the first thing, he's going on every single trial because everyone's heard, like, yeah, get him. You did, right? And he'd done it. Do you know what? He was solid with those trials and he did it. Then, of course, he has to interact with everybody else. So he showed almost just a normal person, a normal man.
And not acting like a normal person, in my opinion.
Not acting like one, because no, I mean, but anyway, I just think that the disconnect between that and seeing, you know, I'm a celebrity, then change into TikTok.
Yeah.
You know, young people were finding him funny because of the things he was doing, and he was rubbish at singing, rubbish at dancing.
On that note,
you know,
we did a Twitter poll today, and we said, are you a fan of Matt Hancock? 82% said no.
And by the way, very quickly, what about Mrs. Hancock and the children?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Let's not forget them.